So we tested the Venomous Abyss on normal yesterday evening, and I've got some thoughts. So the VOD's running in the background, and I've got the encounter timestamps below. And so we'll briefly touch on my thoughts for retribution as well as the encounters we tested. We'll start with the bosses. Nek'zali, the first boss, is a little bit weird. The ads weren't particularly grouped up, so AoEing them wasn't really great. The fight did look cool, but it's nothing overly complicated. It should be a fun first boss, and I'm okay with this one. The raid then branches into two paths. We went right first and fought the Entombed Sentinels. This fight was good. I didn't really think there was too much wrong here. There wasn't a lot going on. It was primarily a single target encounter, but there is some forced downtime when they do go immune and stabilize their health. So I don't love that too much, but I did really enjoy this additional orb mechanic where if you had green orbs and you bumped into someone that had the remainder of your green orbs, you could get a total of 4. That was sort of cool. I mean, it's basic math, but it was fun. Vashnik, on the other hand, that was the wing capstone, and this encounter was lackluster. It felt a little bit like Kilrog Deadeye back from Warlords of Draenor, but it is what it is. You'll have oozes that spawn relatively away from the boss, and you couldn't really meaningfully send cooldowns into them. This could just be a normal raid difficulty issue. I felt like this needed more. There just wasn't much happening here. It left a lot to be desired, and I don't know, boss positioning is probably going to be really important here, but we winged this one, so it's hard to say. Taking the left pathway, this one is interesting because it had both my least favorite boss from our testing and my favorite boss. So left may be bad, but it also may be really good. So let's do the bad first. The first encounter in the left wing is the Lost Explorers fight, and this is the council fight because we always had a council fight, and this one is bad. Mechanic slop would be an understatement. And some of this is influenced by testing on the PTR. I mean, when you get to that part in the VOD or skip there, just watch the Blizzard timeline on the left-hand side of my screen. There is something happening every 3 to 4 seconds, and we'll say 90% of that isn't really pertinent. So it's just information overload, and it's hard to really identify what you need without being able to, we'll say, emphasize or have a countdown. I mean, me personally, what I'll do is I'll have a countdown for the turtle shell fire because you ideally want to bait it to the outside of the ring, but it's PTR, so it is what it is. Seems like one of the bosses goes immune and sort of just mulls around on the outside of the room, and there is some slight 2-target cleaving, but one of them teleports. I mean, this is going to get better when we do develop an actual strategy and have very clear movement, but at least in our testing, I think this fight may have been one of the worst council bosses in recent memory. There are these boxes you've got to break, and so all you do is you walk onto them, and then in one of the boxes there's going to be a fish, and then in one of the boxes there's going to be a fish, and you throw the fish at one of the turtles. I don't know. It's just this is not good here. Like, council fights, in my opinion, should really be a 3-target blender fest. You do some AoE, you have some cool mechanics, you soak a bit of damage. I don't know. This isn't it. We should do better on this one. On the other hand, we have Sszorak. I believe that's how we say this one, but it was my favorite boss from our testing, and this is a great single-target encounter with some really cool wind-related mechanics. You'll get knocked back or pushed around the platform, you dodge some green tornadoes. There's going to be more going on higher difficulties, but I think this one's going to be really cool. I hope it's tuned pretty hard. It should be a fun one, I hope. But it does make me want to play a Death Knight to entirely negate some of the win mechanics in the intermission. But I still really liked the boss. It was fun. It had proper planning. It looked cool. It was a cool platform. It felt like it was a new type of encounter for Blizzard, and I think they nailed it. Higher difficulties, we'll see, but normal was pretty good. The last encounter we tested was Twin Fangs. This was mostly a 2-target cleave encounter and seemed fun enough. It does have some particular positioning means, and we sort of winged it. I liked it, but I do have concerns on Ret doing appropriate 2-target damage, but the fight was cool itself. As a melee, there are some visibility concerns because ideally we face forward and we look at the bosses, and almost all of the mechanics are coming from behind us. It's not ideal, but with some time it should be okay. With how late this boss is in the tier, especially on Mythic, I think this one's gonna be spicy. And unfortunately, we didn't have time to test the penultimate boss, but I've only heard good things so far, so if we do go back in and test it, I'll get a separate video out. As far as retribution goes, our damage seemed okay on single target, but not great everywhere else. I did include the logs in both part 1 and part 2 below. I did only get a partial VOD of our Lost Explorers kill, but you get the idea there. The one thing I do want to say is this raid has a ton of cleave. It's also got a good bit of AoE, and more importantly, on not grouped up targets. And none of that really feel like it played too well for retribution, at least on normal difficulty, and that has me slightly concerned. If we can't really maximize our cooldowns on these secondary targets, we might be in a bit of a tough spot. But it's really going to come down entirely to tuning. If we're tuned well, especially for single target, we'll be okay. I do have some concerns for two-target cleave. It felt really weird for both Herald of the Sun and Templar because I did both for testing. And Herald of the Sun, I hate to say it, it is just boring. But it unquestionably performed better than Templar by a pretty far margin. And also, not having the ability to track the Divine Arbiter buff from our tier set in the cooldown manager wasn't particularly ideal. Things could get a little funky when you got back-to-back Divine Purpose procs. So there were times I was looking in the top right of my screen to see, okay, do I actually have the Divine Arbiter buff? That'll be fixed eventually, but it was just a little funky to play around. I do think it adds a nice gameplay loop, and I'm not entirely against the idea of it, but I think the Divine Arbiter proc should do more damage. It was between 4 to 5% of our single target damage right now, and I'd like to see it probably closer to 7. Maybe that's a bit high, but it felt okay. It just didn't feel great. So when it comes down to my personal feel on it, I don't ever want to play Herald of the Sun. If it's tuned higher or it's better for a particular encounter, I absolutely will, but it's very boring and it feels like it needs an additional button. I mean, with Templar, you do get Hammer of Light and it is a meaningful button press and it always feels good, but for Herald of the Sun, you just don't have anything. And pretty much the entire hero tree is just passive. You do end up using Hammer of Wrath over Blade of Justice in your cooldowns. And that's fine, I guess, but I don't know, it just removes rotational choice. It's Hammer of Wrath spend, Hammer of Wrath spend, Hammer of Wrath spend, and I don't know, maybe I just want something more there. Could be me, but it is what it is. In the meantime, enjoy the VOD, got some good music in the background. I enjoy testing overall. I do have some concerns, but hopefully they remedy themselves with appropriate tuning. Catch you in the next one.